In our next video, we're going to take a look at changing the color of our parts and maybe adding some textures, making the part look a little bit better than just simple gray. If we made an assembly of a bunch of gray parts, that could make for a pretty boring assembly. So we'll see what we can do to make it a little bit more exciting. There's a couple different ways to change the color of a part. I'm going to show you the way that I normally do things. So up at the top of the feature manager tree on the left, if we right click on the file name, we can come over to the drop down with the beach ball for appearances, or down in the menu, the same appearance and beach ball there. Now when we change the color this way, it's going to go through and change the color of the entire part. We do have the ability to change the color of faces and features and surfaces and things like that, but I'm going to show you a little bit different way to do that later on. So here we can come in and change the color of our part. Another way to change the color is come over to the material icon in the feature manager tree. We're going to right click there and maybe come in and change to a different material. So some of the materials have different colors that are associated with the particular material that match closely to the actual color. So like on this one for copper, makes it look, copper-ish. Okay. So that's just another way of changing the color. Now what we can do with this is up on our heads up toolbar, the very last icon has an option here for real view graphics. Now this may not be there, it kind of depends on your graphics card whether it supports it or not. But if we go into real view, it's going to come in and make the part shiny. It actually gives us an environment that's there on this particular scene. Looks like somebody's kitchen that reflects there on the model. We can come through and take a look at that. So that's there in the real view graphics option. Now we do have the ability here, we're in shaded with edges mode. We've also got shaded, hidden lines removed. Here we can see the hidden lines are visible, and then all the way down to wireframe. So just a couple other different options of what we can do there. If we come into the drop down here again, we've got shadows in shaded mode. So you can see that maybe a light source up at the top of the screen and pointing down onto our model, giving us some shadows. Now depending on what scene we have going on, we may have light sources coming from different directions, so that will affect the shadows. So here if we go back into the real view graphics, we can see maybe the light is coming from a little bit different direction. The next option down is ambient occlusion. I really call that fancier shadows. So we get kind of some of the shading, as we zoom in we can see that showing up there. The next icon down is perspective. So like in art class where we see a road kind of vanishing away in the distance, and we can turn on the perspective. But we've got just a couple different options of making the part look a little bit different. If we come over to the task pane on the right side, we've got appearances, scenes, and decals. Now I'm going to use this little push pin to keep this window up as we apply different materials. So if we look through here, we've got different materials, painted, car, different colors. So to apply a color to our part, it's as simple as dragging and dropping this onto the part. Now it's not quite that simple. There's one more step. We have to choose, hey, do we apply the color to a face, a feature, a body, or in this case the entire part. So there we've got the red color there. If we go back to real view, makes it look like a red car. We've got the ability, dragging and dropping it onto this set of features, or if we drag another one onto this single face. So feature colors override part colors, and face colors override the feature and part colors. So you've got a hierarchy there of the different colors that we can pull in. Okay, we've got all kinds of organic materials, woods, different types of woods that are there, miscellaneous, things like grass. So we can come in and maybe drag that onto that face and get the little grass texture going on there. Just all kinds of ways to make our part kind of fun. Miscellaneous, we've got some 3D textures that we can use, studio materials with reflective floors and things like that. Some textures that will only show up with real view turned on. We've got a few different scenes that we can go with, different lights in different areas, different floors. So it's just a matter of applying that to our part. So there's a little reflective grid there on the floor. To get to scenes as well, we can come up to this drop down, the next to last drop down, and choose a specific scene, different lighting, different reflective backgrounds, maybe even have an entire 3D environment that we can rotate around in. So there's a couple of those options. We've also got the ability to do a few other things. If we come over and go to Tools Options, a little gear here, and come down to the Colors area, we can change the viewport background. Maybe do a gradient from dark gray to a light gray, and change kind of the way the background scene looks. Another thing that we can do is come in and maybe use an image file. I've got this one pointing to a JPEG image. Maybe we have a picture of this little building here. So I'll zoom in, and we can come in and put our little foam ball launcher here on the sidewalk, and we're going to shoot balls at oncoming traffic or something. Just anything to put that part into that environment. We'll go back to the plain white background. So there's just a couple different things we can do with the scenes and the display of our part. We've got another option here for this display manager. It looks like it's the 5th icon top of our feature manager tree, where we could come in and put additional lighting in, play with the different scenes and look at the different options that are there. So there's all kinds of fun things that we can do with this part. So let's play with these and see how much fun we can have adding different colors and textures to our part.